Give the call to the member for Hume.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. On Monday, the Prime Minister needed help from the Treasurer before he could tell the House that 800,000 households would be facing higher mortgage payments when they move from low fixed rates to higher variable rates this year. Prime Minister, how many small businesses will be moving to variable rate loans this year? Why do Australian families and small businesses always pay more under Labor?
Give the call to the Prime Minister.
I think the question is, why does the Shadow Treasurer exist if he's incapable of asking a question to the Treasurer?
Order.
Why is it? Why is that the case?
The Leader of the Nationals.
This is a bloke.
Order. Members on my left, I simply cannot hear the Prime Minister. If this continues, people will have... The member for Herbert is warned. When I'm speaking, that is not also the time to interrupt. The Prime Minister has the call and will be heard in silence, and if this continues, people will leave the chamber. It's that simple.
Thanks, Mr Speaker.
The Prime Minister has the call, and the Deputy Leader of the Opposition is warned as well.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. The question is about interest rates from the Shadow Treasurer, who's incapable of asking a question of the Treasurer on a week in which yesterday we thought there'd be a question to the Treasurer and there wasn't. Today, when we were talking earlier today, I said to the Treasurer, I think today's the day, mate. I think today you are going to get a question from the Shadow. So you better be ready. And he said, I'm up for it. I'm up for it. And he waited and he waited and he waited and nothing happened. But of course, the Shadow Treasurer did have something to say about interest rates when he was a part of the government. We're facing circumstances in what's happening here in the Ukraine and Russia that were not expected and very hard to predict. These pressures are driven by extenuating circumstances. But what we're doing through the good work of this Treasurer is making sure...
The member for Hume on a point of order.
Relevance, Mr Speaker. He doesn't know how many small businesses are facing higher...
Resume your seat. That is not a point of order. The Prime Minister is in order. The question was broad. The Minister for Climate Change and Energy is warned. Give the call to the Prime Minister.
Thanks very much, Mr Speaker. The mob who came in here and voted against energy price relief for small businesses had the hide to stand up, and speak about the costs when it comes to small business. But of course, we know from the Leader of the Opposition who had this to say: I'm the Opposition Leader and the joy of being the Opposition Leader is that I'm not in government. That's what he had to say. I'm not paraphrasing, that's exactly what he had to say. Well, I'll tell you this, we were in opposition for some time and we had no joy in it. They have joy in it because whether they're in opposition or in opposition in exile sitting on the opposition bench, they're never for anything, only against it.
Order. The member for Bowman is warned. I repeat, when people are on their feet, that is not the time to interject.